I'm going to call on you by person so that you can see. Christine, apparently you just barely got yours, so you're going to have to catch up and try and get yours straightened now based on what we talked about last week. So I'm just going to review what that is. For last minute straightening, what you're going to do is wet your hair just slightly under the sink and then put it between paper towels and then iron it dry. Okay, Christine?
Okay.
Okay. So Colby, let me see where you're at with yours. You can show it to us. Okay, there's one piece.
I got all that. They're all straightened. I put them in different bags.
Okay. So you need to blend them together at this point. Do you have a picture of your beard?
Yeah, I do have a picture of my beard. I tried to do that, but I didn't like the color, so I thought I'd just wait till class.
That's what we're going to work on now.
Okay.
So that depends, the color and the blending actually depends on how much you use of each product, right?
Okay.
So we'll work on that. But if you have a picture of your beard, that's the way we need to work. So find a picture of your beard. I'll come back to you.
Okay.
And Christine, find a picture of your beard. Ida, do you have a picture of your beard?
My beard?
Yeah, because we're doing, oh, sorry, you don't have your crepe hair, right? Did your kid ever come? Oh, no!
Yay!
Okay, this is a red letter day, you guys. I can't believe it. We mailed this in August.
Yeah.
It's supposed to take 10
cute.
days. 10 days. Okay, didn't I send hair with it?
Yeah. I'm not sure what to do with it.
Okay. So pull out your hair. You're in the same boat as Christine. Pull your hair out and see what it looks like. I thought, wait, did I forget to send it?
No. I got it.
There's her crepe hair, and we all know that's what it looks like. Okay, so it sounds like I'll have to review this again. And that way you guys can do your crepe hair at the same time as I do mine, and we'll blend. I'm just gonna check in with everyone to make sure that we, so Amy, you're kind of in that situation of straightened but not blended, and Sarah, same, right? Okay, and Cara, you started to blend. Let's see yours.
You're muted.
You sent me 4 and this gray one is already, that's the color. I didn't blend this. This came like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I sent you usually I give people in class 3 because I'm actually looking at your real hair color.
Right.
So I tried to send you a wide variety.
Yeah.
Many of you got a light gray or a dark gray, depending on how your hair is, to give you a highlight into your beard. So Smenson, you too, right? You have your crepe hair? Smenson Day. Oh, you might need to text me. You might need to chat me, so I'll chat you back. Here you go. Smenson, do you have your crepe hair? Okay. All right. So let me give you a quick review of that right now while we're recording. And then we'll work on, everyone will do this as we're doing it, and we'll give you time to blend, because then we have to go to application techniques. And we can't apply until we have straightened hair, okay? So let me just pause while I move over to the iron. Wait a second, there we go. So I have my iron set on a fairly hot setting. I have my crepe wool, which is crimped. And this string releases and allows my hair to get straightened. Okay. Beard hair has a little bit, often has a little more crimp than hair on the head. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can put it under water. I'm going to spray it, just spraying it with water to moisten. Okay, this is wool. So if I moisten it, it's going to relax. And one of the things you can do is you can spray it and allow it to relax so that it will just stretch out a bit. You don't want it too straight. You just want it a little less crimped. So at this point, we always cover up our ironing board because the wardrobe crew really hates it when we have hair all over the place. So this is also our dressing area. Okay, so this is moist. And I'm going to iron it between paper towels to get it to dry out and to be a little bit straightened. You'll see as I put my iron down that the moisture will bleed through the paper towel. Now on this, I'm not using steam. Looks like this iron was dropped. Okay. So now my hair is a bit flatter. And you can see that my towel is moist. I can always just take another one and iron it between the towel. And then we keep these towels so that we reuse them. Okay, you have 3 colors. You want to look at the color of your beard very specifically. Look very carefully at your beard. Okay, I'm just going to go up here for a sec. And see if I can pin this. Okay. So I'm going to blend to my hair. This is, beginning of my hair. I have gray up here, but highlight can also be gray. So that's something you want to work at. Now that I have my hair straightened, you need to do this to all 3 of your strands. I just can't believe it, Ida, that you got it on the perfect day. That is so awesome.
I got it like 2 days ago, but yeah, it was perfect timing.
Okay, so you'll want to pick strands that match your hair. I think this is what I did the other day. You want to avoid making it just a mess like this, okay? The idea is we want to try and keep the hair aligned, so we're going to pull it to blend in this fashion. So I'm going to get my 3 pieces out. So I'm going to use a light gray with my brown, and then maybe a medium brown if I have that. That's red. That does not look like my hair. So if you're not going with your own hair color, then you're going to have to make some other choices here, right? But I matched, when I sent you things, I sent them to match your hair color. Okay. This is about the right length to work with. So my 3-inch piece grew into 9 or whatever inches. And you're not going to be making a really long beard. You want to make a beard that's fairly short. Who has their beard pictures? I'd like to see your beard pictures. That really informs what kind of beard you're going to make.
So when you said that, I made not a mistake. I thought you were literally talking about my own, because I have a beard.
Oh yeah, no, we're putting a beard on. Everyone's going to put a beard on.
I know. So would you recommend I use a picture of myself with the beard to match it, or
no? Just get a picture of any beard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a picture of any beard.
Okay.
So let me just screen share this for a second. You can see the beard, the way the beard is applied, and that might help inform you a bit more. Okay.
Okay.
So everybody can just take a quick look. Let me just move this over. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're cutting the straightened hair. We're blending the straightened hair. When we get the hair straightened, we're going to cut it on the bias. which is at a 45-degree angle. And this gives you the way that the hair goes on the face, okay? So I will demonstrate, and I'll demonstrate this, but you don't necessarily need a beard that is 6 inches long to create this. The number one is the keystone, okay? 3 shades of hair should be blended for a natural look. This is what we've already done. And this was our last Monday's group. Darker shades should be underneath. And this is also from your blended mix. This means underneath in this area. And we'll put them underneath here because the top hair, as you know, from your own hair, underneath is darker and the top bleaches out, okay? So lighter skin, lighter shades go next to the skin. The application will start with the underlayer first. So the reason why I'm showing you this now is because I want you to understand your hair length really only needs to be about 3 inches, and then we will be trimming it. Is that clear for everybody? So let's go back to our blending so that you have a beard. You know, the thing is if you're doing an Uncle Sam beard, that's no big deal, right? So you're not picking one that is really as complicated as it could be. So I have my three hairs, this one and my darker one. And I have my scissors and I'm going to blend. So I'm just going to cut all my hair the same length. And then I will set my hair, the rest of my hair aside. Okay, because I don't need that. This one is already straightened. And it has been folded. So I'm going to unfold it. All right, so that this is ready to go. I'm going to roughly pull in proportion the hair that I need. So I'm going to use, my hair is dark, has some light. So I'm going to use a part of this piece. So you can see maybe I'm using a third of it, right, by comparison. And then a third of the gray. So I'm spreading those apart. I'm going to put them on top of each other. So I'm holding the hair between my index finger and my middle finger. And I'm going to blend by pulling the bottom of the hair away from the top, and then I lay the hair on top of it, holding it in my hand. So my working hand is the right hand, and my non-working hand, the holding hand, is my left hand. So I'm putting the two together. Let me see if I can clear out your space so you're not looking at all these extra hairs. Okay, so I'm continuing to blend these together. I'm going to pull that one, and this is creating a blend of hair. If I see a piece that's a little darker, now I'm going to add my dark because that's not quite my hair color. And you just continue to pull from the bottom and lay it on the top. And see if this hair color is approximately your hair color. If you get a too bright of a spot on the top, you can just pull that piece a little bit and blend it in. Okay, so now I'm looking at this. I'm thinking, is this close to my hair color? And I'll just hold it up so you guys can see that I think it's not bad. Okay. So you want to work with a comb as well. So that your hair is aligned.
Hey, Pam, that little group that you just
Did?
made, yeah. How much will that cover?
Well, it depends on, well, that's going to be pretty you know, you could make a goatee out of that,
Okay.
right? Because you're not going to put on that much. So you can get it. I've given you enough hair so you're going to, this is the rest of this, still this 1 inch piece that I pulled out. So this is just part of it. I could make 3 more pieces like this, and then I still have the rest of my hair, right? So here's how it worked. I cut this piece. I blended this piece. I have this much left because I only used 1/3 of that. And then I still have this much hair left. So you have plenty of hair to make it. So everyone needs to get their hair into approximately the right color. For your own hair. When we apply it, we will not apply that much. We'll pull it apart and then we'll apply it. I mean, the better the beard looks is because you're using a thinner amount of hair. Okay, so I feel like I need to let people get caught up to that point where your hair is blended and you have several tufts of hair that are blended together and ready to use. I'm going to just pause the recording while we catch up. So the tufts depend on exactly what beard you're going to make. You will need to possibly make more hair, but you will need several. You should just make all of your hair, and then if you have stuff left over, then we store it. You know, like I have stored hair like this that's blended so that then it can be used later. Okay, so you'll want to make all of your hair. So cut all your hair into this length, blend it all. You will not use one tuft at a time. You'll use a portion of a tuft at a time. Okay? Because when you really look at a beard, they're not that heavy. You will be working with your crepe hair for this. You'll be working with your spirit gum as well. That's how the hair will stick on. And then to remove it, you have spirit gum remover in your kit, and that's very helpful. And you can also use 99% alcohol. So you should be making your hair and end up with a lot of layers. Okay. Let me see if I can go back to here. So you need your beard picture to start. Before I can answer that question about how much hair do you need. You know, if you're doing just a goatee and a mustache, you'll need less hair than if you're doing a full beard. So keep working until you get your hair blended.
So did you say we're blending all of it?
Let me see how much hair you have.
I mean, like all of this.
Yeah, I don't think you need all of it. I think cut off your 3 inches, your 3 inches of each one, and then cut those in, make those into thirds or fourths, and then blend those together to try and get your hair matching. So for
I
you,
don't think I need this one. It doesn't really
just a
like,
little
just
bit.
these two look better.
Yeah, but just a tiny bit of that. So you'll put in where it'd be like 3 to 1, you know, 3 of the other 2 and 1 of that, just to give yourself, I see that you have some red lowlights in your hair. So just,
Yeah, but I feel like these blended together are still more red than my hair actually is.
not really, not what we're seeing.
Yeah, but when I look in the mirror.
Okay. But just, you know, the beard often expresses differently than the head hair. It's just to
Okay.
create interest.
Okay.
Okay. So just
All
work
right.
it. Okay, we're going to start. Let's see if I can find this. Okay. Our video that I usually use, which is by Web Phillips, is not available. You can look at it by looking at the going to the Learning Resource Center and asking to see the crepe hair beard. So that is set up for you guys to see. It's about 40 minutes. It's really worth looking at because Web Phillips is a master at putting on a crepe hair beard, and you can then take a look. I think today what we'll do is we'll actually prepare, I'll demo, and then you'll be doing your beard next time. And here we go. So this is from the Ben Nye family, right? The Ben Nye family of recordings that we have. This is a series that he shows, and this is going to be the Web Phillips.
Hello, I'm Dana Nye, your host for the series Makeup for the Theater. In this lesson, we'll be working with crepe wool. We'll be showing you the techniques used to prepare crepe wool and how to apply it. I learned many of these techniques from my dad, who over the years designed countless different styles of beards. When you are working with crepe wool, preparation is half the battle, and that's where we'll begin. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Webster Phillips. He's a contemporary of my dad, and in recent years, Web and I have worked together on quite a few shows. He has a colorful list of credits, which include the Marx Brothers classic, A Night of the Opera. He did Les Miserables and the original Mutiny on the Bounty. Recently, he was in charge of Lou Grant in the Bronx Zoo. Webster, crepe wool takes a lot of preparation, doesn't it?
Oh, it surely does. It really does. This is a very expensive beard, $300 at least. And I'm going to show you all a more inexpensive way to work and a better way to work.
Great.
Without spending so much money.
Well, what
I just want to check in. How's the video for you? Can you guys see it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
have we got here?
Well, we have this 5 shades of crepe wool. Auburn, black, dark brown, light brown, and medium gray. Of these shades, there's 2 or 3 you should use in the beard to make it look natural.
And in the actor that we're going to make up in a few minutes, we'll be using his basic tone, which is the dark brown. And will you be using a 1 shade lighter and a 1 shade darker for sure, huh?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I'd like to show you a way we prepare this hair. I'm going to cut this in half so that you'll get an idea.
I'll use the whole thing. What
Use
the
the
heck?
whole thing.
This is a big budget.
Oh, well, that's fine. All right, then you pull it out such, and then you see these little strings in here. You cut those strings and pull it out some more and cut more strings. That's the way they pack it to ship it to you.
It's
And
about a yard usually.
Oh, it's about a yard, yes.
Yeah.
And there's more hair here than you think by the way it looks, the way it spreads out.
Yeah, I think the tendency for most students is to try and have as much hair possible, but
Yes, they do, and you can use too much. And if you use too much of this, the beard would look too packed.
let's
And cut another little bit.
cut a little bit. You can work if you have a partner. You can do this together.
Oh, yes.
This is the twine that holds the crepe wool together. This wool, by the way, comes from England, and the material comes out of the these are short ends that they get out of the mills, and the material is quite expensive. It's nowhere near as expensive as that of that natural or the human hair that we saw in that beard a moment ago. That human hair or yak beard hair costs about $250, $300 a pound, whereas a yard of wool sells anywhere from, say $6 to $8 a yard.
You see how kinky this hair is. It can be used on some occasions. Rabbis usually have it hanging down the side when they need that. They always wear it that way. So you can make it keep it only for that I know of.
So you really can't apply it
You cannot apply it
any other way.
This kinky, you can't either work with it hardly. So what we do, we take it. I'm going to cut this little last bit off.
Okay.
It's stuck here. And to show you how to straighten the hair, you take this that's all kinked, put it in the water.
What temperature do you
The
use?
temperature would be a kind of warm water.
Okay,
Sort of
not too
warm,
hot?
Not too hot.
What happens if it's real hot?
Well, it gets too straight.
It does, and you don't want to lose all the curl?
You want to have it about half curly,
Okay.
not curly, so that the hair, if it's too straight, it will pack too tightly and won't look natural.
Okay.
I'll put that over there, and we lay it on there, and that will dry in about 6 to 8 hours. Overnight, that'll dry about right. It'll come out nicely. Now, these have been done the same way overnight, and they've straightened out quite well, quite nicely here. And for instance, you can work with it now. And you reach down, you pull a little hair out so, and I'll do this a little bit more, untwist it slightly, pull it out.
So this is the this technique is the major technique in actually getting the wool ready to apply
Getting it
to
ready.
the face.
And you see how that pulls out so easily.
Okay, you're careful not to pull in too close here, but you
Yes.
pull out here a little bit,
Be
right?
sure that, yes. And then you just pull this together. And then if there's a clump in there that looks like there is, you can separate that slightly there with your fingers.
Separate
Lay
it from
over,
the middle.
Separate from the middle, and then grab the ends and pull it very gently out like that. And you can see how that's thinning out nicely. If there is a clump there, you go in there again and just kind of separate it.
Where did
Lay
you
it
get your
over.
training, Webb?
Oh, I was taught by my father.
And his name was?
His name was, they used to call him Dad Phillips.
Dad Phillips.
Yeah. His name was F.B. Phillips.
F.B. Phillips,
Yeah.
that he was Dad. And I understand that he was one of the founders of the makeup union. And,
He was, and in fact, it was started and organized in our house when I was just a little chafer.
Really?
Yeah.
And you were the youngest, do
I was
I
the youngest in
understand?
a family of makeup artists. Uh-huh.
And how many other were there?
Oh,
how many
there's,
brothers were there?
2 brothers.
I know.
My dad, myself, and nephews now.
I know Fred. He's
Yes.
a very wonderful man.
Fred did all the Star Treks.
Yeah, he certainly did.
In fact, well, anyway, here we go. I'll show you how to blend these a little bit.
Okay, now we've gone to our dark brown wool at this point, and Webb's going to repeat the same process, pulling the hair apart. Now, you notice that we do have a comb set out here, and the comb is a way for you to pull some of the shortest ends out of your little bundles.
Mhm.
When you go to apply that wool to the face, the little short pieces sometimes don't stick very well. So you can see that combing them out is a good,
You can't make a mistake with this. This is fun.
yeah. Looks like you're
Just
having
great.
fun.
You just kind of like a taffy pull. It's just great.
I'm glad to hear that because I know a lot of students that really dread laying beards.
See, when it gets clumpy, you just kind of do that. Lay it over like that.
Yeah.
And then if you want to blend, now these
Okay.
colors, you take, say, a part of this,
Yeah.
and you can do it right in your hands. And you kind of separate it in the middle like that and blend it in the center.
I see.
Pull it
So
apart.
you kind of, are you weaving it together?
I'm weaving
at
it
that
together from the center. And then you take it from the sides, and as you see, the darkness is blending into that auburn color.
Gee, that doesn't look too hard.
No, and then there's a clump of hair there. You grab it and you pull it apart like that very easily. Turn the hair one way or the other, and you'll find that it blends nicely. Now that's quite a bit lighter than this by quite a bit,
You bet.
and it's quite a bit. Well, it's a little bit darker than that.
But
But you can change it whichever way you wish.
is this something you do right before you laid your beard, or would you
I prepare this before I
try to work ahead?
work ahead a little bit, and then as I work, I change it as I work too. Now, if you happen to have it not completely blended, don't worry about it. You can't make a mistake.
Just
You
keep watching it.
Just watch it, and as you work the hair up, even though there's a little heaviness in one place, as I would lay it on is, then the next time you lay the hair over, and well, I'll show you when we lay the beard how that
Good.
works.
Well, now let's show them
Now
the wool that we have prepared already for today's lesson.
Oh yes, here we have. This has all been done like I have shown you. All these colors are in these packages, so they're easy to use and easy to work.
Well, let's just show you. You know, I hear the question a lot. How much hair do I need to put this beard on with? Okay, what we've got here, we've got all of these colors that have been prepared, and you can see that we have 5 stacks, including this material right here, of hair.
Now that could have been done also, if I may interject,
Yeah.
in the hackle. Here's a hackle that's very hard. It's very a lot. Oh, it's like needles.
You bet.
So when you work with a
Dangerous,
hackle,
too.
but it is easy to work, but it's not necessary at all to use the hackle. In fact, as you blend these, you can take a little of the gray and you work it in like that. twist it at the end and kind of, you can work the same kind of way I told you and then pull it through the hackle. If you have to work real fast or do a lot of people, you'd use the hackle. But it isn't necessary, but it's kind of convenient sometimes for you to use the hackle. Just a little explanation about the hackle. And you always put this balsa wood on top because those needles,
Yeah, they're dangerous,
they
aren't
bring
they?
blood.
Yeah, they certainly
Did you ever
do.
see that?
I have seen it quite a few times when I've been
Okay.
using
Now-
the hackle myself. This is equal to 2.5 yards of wool. If you were to take each yard and cut it in half, wet it, dry it, and pull it apart, this is what you'd end up with. So how many beards
Oh,
would
you can
this
make
do?
several beards with that. Several. Like that beard over there. You can practice on that head. Tell them about that.
Well, this is one of those Tuffy heads. It's a rubber head. And I used this particular head when I was practicing for my makeup test to get in the union. It's a great way to develop your own skills as a makeup artist. And I recommend practice a lot. And another technique with the head is to make beards in advance. So if you're doing a pretty large show, you can make a dozen beards,
Make
say.
several in advance, and then they're all prepared when you go to the show.
Oh, great.
And you can make different colored ones and fit them on the actor that would wear it best.
Okay, so this is where we are right now. You have your hair and you have your hair blended, and you see how Webb did it so that you can still see some of the lights and darks. And now he's going to show you the application technique. And I'll make sure this is posted so you can also reference this as well. Any questions so far?
I have a question, Pam.
Yeah. Amy?
When you create this beard, will it be reusable?
Yes, and he'll show you how to take it off at the end. You have to be very careful. So when they showed you the picture of this beard on the rubber head, and if you made them in advance, then you could remove them with alcohol, you spray them, and then you have this unstructured beard so that it's not on a back, it is just adhered by spirit gum to itself. So you'll see that at the very end of the video when he removes it, okay?
Okay.
Good question. Anything else? And we're going to continue. He's a master, so you won't, you're in good hands.
Well, it looks like we're ready to go.
I'm
huh?
ready. I'm ready.
Okay. Well, we now have plenty of wool to lay our beard with. And I'd like to give Webb a few minutes to set up his tools. It's very important that you have all the tools necessary to complete this complicated task. My dad always taught me to lay my equipment out in an organized fashion so that I'd never waste time looking for something. These are some of the tools we'll be using for our demonstration: crepe wool, scissors, tweezers, acetone and bowl.
Okay, I want you to take a look at this list and note that we no longer use acetone, and he'll say that verbally that we don't use acetone. He's using it to clean the brushes of spirit gum, okay? So this is a list. This would be copied onto your schematic for all your supplies that you need when it says products needed and notes. So that's the kind of list that we're talking about.
Latex thin with distilled water, eyebrow pencil, fine-tooth comb, spirit gum remover. Some optional tools include hackle with cover, stove and iron. In review, we've prepared 5 shades of hair to work with. However, 3 may be sufficient. Usually choose one closest to the actor's own hair, then one a shade darker and one a shade lighter. This way you can mix these 3 together to highlight and shadow the hair. It looks a lot more natural than a one-color beard. Now I'd like to introduce you to our model, Mark Yammer. He's a professional dancer with the Mary Jane Eisenberg Dance Company. Webb, shall we begin?
Let's do. You put the spirit gum on the chin. This is a very key part of the beard where you started.
The old makeup term is keystone, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to note the brush that he's using. Please don't use your makeup brush for this. Use a brush that if you don't get your spirit gum out, or if something happens and your spirit gum tends to dry in there, that you're not ruining one of your makeup brushes. This can be a brush, unless you're extremely careful and you really get your alcohol on your brush immediately and your spirit gum remover, you could very easily ruin a brush. And I don't want you to ruin the one from your makeup kit. So you can just, a $1 brush somewhere or something that you have to put that on with. Then notice the texture of the spirit gum. Your spirit gum is runnier than that. And that's because this spirit gum has been out and it has evaporated so that it is thicker and a little more tacky. You see that when he moves the brush away from the chin, you see a string that comes with the brush, and that's because the spirit gum is tacky.
Yeah, that's what I learned.
Now you turn your head this way. A little more this way, I
Yeah,
think.
he can look straight while
Straight
he's
ahead for this one, yeah.
for this one, sure.
Okay.
And you put
Okay, whoops, sorry. I just want to make one more comment about the keystone in the drawing that's on your Canvas page. The keystone is the #1 position. It's the place where you start the crepe hair. It's literally just under the point of the chin. So that's when Dana was saying the keystone, that they're discussing the location of the hair placement. It is the first place the hair is placed, okay? And note, he's holding the hair in his left hand, and in his right, he's going to press down the hair into the gum.
Put this just under the chin. Just tap it with your scissor. Cut it there. Go right
nice.
behind it.
Hold it.
And that's what you said. This is exactly what Kara said. You cut it and then you hold it and you put it right up, the cut place right up under the chin for the next time. He will use one cut of hair for 2 or 3 or 4 different places on the face. So watch this carefully.
And you go right behind with the second one. You lay it right behind that one. And you lay it right in there and tap it with your scissor. You take the other part and you go back for a third one. Right behind it.
So it's 1, 2, 3.
Each time he's cut an even clip so that the hair is all aligned so that when it touches the skin, all of the hair is touching the skin at one time. He's using his scissors to push the hair to the spirit gum because they are metal. They can easily be cleaned with alcohol. And if you cannot use your fingers because your fingers will be far too sticky. So if you don't have, you can use your scissors. You can also possibly use a pencil or the end of a brush, the wooden end of the brush, and then keep it very, very clean.
You take another little piece. You lay it up close here, and you turn your head back toward the center. I'm going to see it right there. That's right. And you lay this just above it on the chin. Another move again.
I'd like to show you a design that my dad created. This is allows us to take a look at the way to work in sections on the face. As you can see, each section is numbered in the order of application. The hair laid overlaps the previous section. This covers up the attached pieces with loose hair.
And you have a copy of that. It's on your Canvas site. Oh, well, it's not exactly that one. It's one that shows you 1, 2, 3 as Web put it on, where 1 starts and 2's underneath and 3's underneath that. So
Are you going to upload that? Because it's not in Canvas.
no, it's up. It is in. Oh, maybe let me go to my other computer and I'll upload it right while we're doing this, because I thought I had uploaded it. Yeah, we have it.
If you notice, along the lower edge of the jawline, the diagram was numbered 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, Webb is very quick at laying hair. He may hold enough hair in his hand to apply to section 3, 4 at the same time. He may join sections 5 and 6. But you get the idea that one section follows right behind another section. The hair is pressed and fanned using the blades of the scissors. He puts it down and lays section 4 and presses. Okay, now just slow down a little bit for the students out there, Webb, because they don't want to miss a trick here. He fans the hair out and presses it to the end of the jawline there and cuts. That piece can now be used, say, at the beginning of the sideburn. Okay, and notice there's a little scrap there. You could throw it on the floor, but Webb's found a place for it to go at the beginning of at the corner of the chin.
The spirit gum gets on here, so you have to keep the glue off your right hand and off your hands and off the scissor. So I use acetone between each cut almost.
We went to the store and bought some custard cups, and these work as wonderful finger bowls. You can put your spirit gum in them. You can put acetone in them. Okay, we're going to repeat the same process on the other side. He's using plenty of gum. Now remember, gum does dry out. Don't do the whole face at once because it will dry out on you. You're just going to have to put more spirit gum in place. Webb is very frugal with the hair he's using. I've seen some makeup artists lay a hair that was halfway down his chest, but I think it's wasteful to do it that way, especially when you consider how long it takes you to prepare the wool. I think there's a certain feeling of accomplishment in using the minimum amount of hair. Notice he's fanning the hair out and pressing and cutting. Now he had a section of hair, he cut it in half, and this is the second half of hair. Angle cut, press, cut on an angle, and then press back. This is the foundation at the base of the jawline.
A little bit more here.
Now we're now proceeding with sections, the second layer, which would be 7, 8, 9, 10. 7 and 8 begin down next to the chin. Notice how he fans the hair out. Now the higher you go, the thinner the hair is. So the hair way up on the side of the cheek is very sparse. Notice Webb's changed the color a little bit here too. The hair does not always remain the same. And that's why we prepared several variations of the blend of those original 5 colors. Keep clean as you go. The acetone instantly works as a cleaning solvent. There's nothing worse than having the hair all over your fingers, like a bird's nest. Notice how the subject participates in this. This just makes it easier to work quicker. Now this is the beginning of this is the base of the sideburn. Notice again that each cut, as long as he's got something of the hair, can become the next layer. Holding it along on an edge there. And again, notice the hair is flowing back towards the ear at this point. Now, Mark recently had his hair cut, as you can see. It makes it a little trickier for the makeup artist to blend to his hair, but I think you can see we're pretty successful here. It's hard to tell where it stops and starts. Now, we haven't trimmed it so far. We haven't combed it or trimmed it up a little bit back of the that little lay, and his hair is so thin at that point, he's gone ahead and actually put a little spirit gum right in there. So that'll stick. Okay. Now there's a little interim step here that Webb follows, and that is to press his beard firmly into the face. Now you can use a towel. The end of the hair cloth works fabulous here. Really, really press.
I pressed.
You pressed all right.
Oh, yeah. The trick of it is to really press it as tight as you can. Do you have any bridge work? No.
Okay.
Lay it right in there.
That's a good question, especially if you're working with an older actor. If you're making up your makeup instructor, be sure and try that question on he or she.
You get the bottom part, the base of it kind of combed out, so it looks thin. It should be so you can see a pencil or something right through the hair. Then as you lay the top over it now and get the nice part done, that you can comb it and it'll stay on all day.
Could you put your thumb just underneath the chin, just so we can see your thumb underneath, to get an idea how long that beard really is?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just stick your thumb straight underneath. Yeah, about a thumb's length, would you say?
About, yes.
Yeah. Try that thumb's length as a rule of thumb when you're trying to figure out how far to cut your hair. As I said, some people tend to lay that hair, a good 50% farther down than they need to. And then they just cut it and it becomes waste. All right, this becomes lays 7, 8, 9, 10. And then up along the side of the sideburn once more.
Where did I put the scissors? There they are now. There they are.
There they are.
Yeah. It's easy to lose your scissors with all the maids. Okay, hold this just a little bit. Good. Keep your patron in action.
Okay.
Now you take your thumb and you push forward with that hair. See how it separates just with a thumb movement.
And it spreads it and thins it. And it makes it look so much more realistic that way. Webb's doing that just about every time he's putting the hair down, though he hasn't mentioned it up until now. Now, as he changes the hair color from the mixture of the dark brown at the base of the chin and goes to a gray mixture, this makes the whole thing look a little bit more transparent to the eye. You can't tell you don't see any big clumps when you go to a lighter color like a gray mixture.
You push that forward, it separates the hair a little bit, and then you touch it in with just the tip of the scissors. Cut it. Lay a little in there. Have an irregular line. Don't have that be a straight line.
The hardest beard to apply is the darkest beard, because you can see the outline of all of your laid hair against the skin.
Also, you use now and then if you're finished and there's a little spot, you can just touch it lightly with a pencil and kind of fill in your mistake if you make a mistake, because you can't make a mistake doing it anyway, whereas you can always fix it with that.
That's a way to fix the holes.
You fix the mistake a little bit.
We also mentioned that in your basic selection of tools that you'd keep some tweezers on hand.
Mm-hmm.
Tweezers are nice because you can use them to pull out maybe a thick clump. Okay, we're back to the sideburn. Again, look at that angle. It's growing downward, or it's drawing downward.
Now his hair is very fine there, so I'm going to go up into his hair slightly and try to let that hair grow come out the same as this direction his hair is growing. Sometimes you go even back, and it hides that blend nicely.
Okay, the hair is spread. He pushes it down, and then he actually releases the hair for a second and then grips it a little farther down. You notice there's a little bit of hair sticking to the scissors, so he's about ready to use his acetone bowl again.
Yeah, just about.
A little word of caution. This beard is highly flammable. Do not let anyone smoke near you. Keep any kind of flame away from the acetone. Acetone is very flammable. We don't recommend acetone as a solvent for removing the beard because it's so drying on the skin. There is a spirit gum remover that's available that's quite good as a solvent. After the beard is completed, we're going to show you how to begin to remove the beard if time
I'm just going
permits.
a little tighter here to make that blend a little better. And you always want to keep your eyes, the main part is keeping your eyes on the point of the scissors. So you will never cut the person. If you watch the point of the scissors, whatever you do, you won't give the guy a little nick you didn't expect to.
When was the last time you took a little nick out of something, Web?
Well, I hate to mention it. But you only do it once, you never do it again.
Yeah, well, was
I
it
cut the
a
guy's
relative
ear almost
or
off. No.
a famous actor that...
Oh, way back. I can't. I'm trying to think of the name of the show now. Now you just let a little bit of that hair kind of tuck in there, trim it, and this softens the mistakes you made below. If you made a few mistakes, don't worry about it because you can always correct it. Now I'm going to turn his head a little bit this way so you can see that I'm going to lay a little bit in here of this color. And I don't think we've hardly thrown any hair away.
Next time you lay a beard, look on the floor after you got done to see just what's sitting there. And if there's a lot of hair, you've been wasteful. That's why this rubber head is such a nifty way to practice. It allows you to lay a beard. If you don't like something about it, you can pull it off. You don't have to have a subject sitting there being your guinea pig, although it is nice to have a subject to be your guinea pig from time to time.
I want to do a mustache. Is that all right?
You bet. Let's.
This is a little different. You take a smaller brush and turn your head slightly that way. And you just put it there where his hair is growing and let it come down here towards the beard because it is part of it, actually. I think mine's the same way. Yes, it is. And then you come over here. I'm trying to get the touch. Now we'll take a little of this color. I think this is nice. Making an old man out of it, you know? We'll take a very little bit of hair and straighten it out nicely so that, and cut the mustache hair in half. And you lay it just so. Hold that a minute. Just hold that. Got it? I got to clean my scissors. It's got sticky glue on it. Okay, thanks.
Okay, now this first section that you put down is the bridge between the beard and the mustache. Notice it's growing on it. It's growing and laid in an angle.
Keep your eyes on the point of the scissors all the time.
Yeah, it's embarrassing to cut the tip of somebody's nose. Painful too.
I go from one side to the other with the same hank of hair so that if I run out, both sides will match and I can start the other side and this side with another area of hair that might be slightly different shade. That's good. What's the point of the scissors?
Notice he's working with a very small amount of hair. Here he's separating the hair.
You always want the hair to come out the same direction your thumb is. And then you can cut it from various beveled angles as you seek. And I'm going to lay it on this side here just a little bit there, more beveling.
Well, this is basically the technique that my father used. And I'm certainly uncomfortable with this technique. It works very nice. It's satisfying to have a beard looking so real.
Oh, I threw some away. Then you take this and you press it good and tight. Because he hates to have lunch and have the beard coming out in your lunch and in your food. I used to cut Orson Welles' hair, but I used to have fun dropping his haircut into his hamburger. He didn't seem to know the difference. But it was kind of fun.
He was what we call a real good feeder.
Yeah. Then you comb this out real good. After you've pressed it tight, you can comb it as hard as you wish, and that won't come out. Now I want to just show you a little touch how to curl it. But first, I want to get these little bit of hair just above his lip out.
These little hairs right below the lip, just like a real mustache, will annoy the heck out of the actor. So this is a fine little...
important.
This is where you're sprucing up your work.
You find if you do work like that the actors will come back to you to have their mustache fixed and their hair because they know you're careful and you won't bother them all day with the wrong way it's been laid.
You won't cut them and you won't annoy them.
I brought a stove along. I'm going to just heat one of these irons, a little mustache iron.
These irons are the tools of a professional makeup artist, and we're going to show you how to lift the hair with the iron on one side of the beard. On the other side, we're going to show you how to dress the beard using a formula of distilled water and white liquid latex. Now notice, it came out pretty darn hot, and the little trick is to take a tissue and bite down on the Kleenex.
So it's okay. It isn't too bad.
When he flips the iron around, obviously that takes the heat away.
For instance, over here, if I feel like I want that, don't move your head now. It's kind of warm. That's what you call hot. Then you can lift this out right close and make it look like the hair is growing right out of his face just by lifting it. And a little touch.
My father always said that you could tell a good makeup artist if he could lay a crepe wool beard. That actual human hair or yak hair has a lot more body to it, and frankly, it's a lot easier to lay than a crepe wool beard. So if you can master one of these, I guarantee you that if you ever got a hold of some human hair or yak, that you do a beautiful job.
If you don't have the irons and all of that, you can easily shape that beard with a latex and water. Liquid latex here. There's liquid latex in the bottle and fresh water, distilled water. It's already been mixed. So you mix them kind of half and half, very, very thinly. And then
So this is the only time that you would use latex on hair, and it's on a beard not attached to your head. Ordinarily, we never use latex on the area where there is hair. So this is a half and half mixture because he's going to try and shape the beard with this. It's a rubber, so makes it an even thinner rubber so that he can create a shape that he wants.
you get it on your hands and give it a little of this. You'll watch that'll start to take a curl. And it'll hold a certain shape. Now this is when you don't have irons and all to work with. You can kind of make that beard have a personality.
The reason why that works is because wool is resilient, and the actual character of wool itself is that it wants to spring back into its ordinary shape, which is a slight kink. So while you straightened it to be able to manage it and handle it well with your hair, it will remember its shape and it will go back into that. So moisture creates that resiliency. It triggers that resiliency so that it will go into a little bit of a curled shape.
Now you notice that the liquid latex here is very thin. I'd say
Very
it's
thin.
3 parts water to 1 part liquid latex. Use distilled water because the distilled water there is actually distilled water in the rubber. That's what this liquid latex is. And it won't ball up on you if you do that. A tap water will ball up with you and it won't work quite
Does
as
that
nice.
seem to be taking on a shape now?
Yes.
A little bit?
It sure
like
does.
it's curled, as though you had an iron to do it with. Now I'll clean my fingers and I'll show you how to float that off. We call it floating it off.
Before we do that, I'd like to ask Mark to rotate his face to camera so our audience can take a good close look at how that beard is growing. On the sides, you can see that it's growing back towards the ear, and it changes directions gradually as it reaches the chin. Okay.
Over here, the same, a little bit. Now, you can't make a mistake in makeup. You can always fix it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm fixing something I saw I had made a mistake.
Yeah, you know, one of the advantages that you have in your own makeup room is that you'll be working into a mirror. And when you work into a mirror, you can you can have a chance to look at your mistakes.
A little bit of it. Sometimes hair will pack. That's what we use this for. The little tweezers will separate the hair up close to the face sometime. I'm just showing you how to use this. Yeah, that's
great.
Fairly close.
Mark, would you just lean back and let's just take a look underneath so you guys can get an idea of what the hair looks like under there. Very nice.
The first key part does this the way you want it, so it looks natural. Now you can lower that lightly. We're going to do
a lot of times, and you've probably been asked this before, can you save the beard? I mean, it's gorgeous.
Oh, you can use this beard several times now after. And I'll show you how to float this off. This can be floated off with a little alcohol and a brush. This is a pretty good brush, I guess, for this.
Now, because our time is limited today, we're going to float off the first corner, and you're going to have a chance to see how the beard will come off together. And we have a material.
And I'll show you too you put a towel here because sometimes alcohol will run down, and this is just for the actor's convenience, and so it won't run down his neck. So I put that there. This is alcohol.
Simple isopropyl alcohol.
And we're just going to release some of this.
Now, where you've applied the thinnest amount of hair, you may have some hair that will not come off entirely. And you may, after you apply the beard for the second time, you'll probably go back and overlay those thin edges. But nonetheless, the body of the beard is intact. Webb, during the years that you've worked, have you ever used liquid latex to apply a beard?
I have. Some people have been allergic to spirit gum.
Right.
And spirit gum isn't fun to wear anyway, but yes, I have.
Which is a better adhesive, liquid latex or spirit gum?
It's easier and better to work with spirit gum.
Yeah.
Much better.
Well, I would say.
So one thing you want to look at here is notice he's not started to remove the beard yet. There's a lot of alcohol, and that's because the spirit gum is an adhesive not like tape, but that can be pulled off, but one that must be dissolved, and then the hair will release away from the skin, okay? That's why he said put a towel, because he's using a lot of the alcohol to soak into the spirit gum so the spirit gum actually dissolves. And we'll just continue, not much more left. Oops, sorry.
Yes.
Spirit gum stays tacky, whereas liquid latex tends to dry.
And it doesn't hold its shape as well.
Now we're starting to pull. You can see we're starting to loosen that edge. It's important to use that. And notice it's pulling apart. Now we're going to have to stop right here, but there's a couple more things we want to tell you about pulling off the beard. On the interior side of the beard, what would you use to hold the whole thing together?
After you take the beard off, it'll come off just like this. Turn your head. See, this beard folds right off nicely. It just lays right the way it was up here. Now it slides right off very easily. And say you had the whole thing down, you'd lay that on the table. And to hold it so it won't fall apart, so like that one is on that head there.
Now, what's this material?
This is a Krylon. It's a kind of a matte finish Krylon.
It's something from an art
It's
supply
an
store?
art supply.
It has nothing to do with the theatrical maker.
No. But let me be sure this is, it's okay. Now, keep it away from his face, but I often will spray that like that.
Now
And that will hold that beard tight, so until you use it next time.
Okay, so you never want to spray that while it's on your face. There have been a number of different makeup techniques that had been used for years, but things like acetone, which was used for years, you really don't ever want to spray that while it's on the face. You remove the entire beard and then you spray that while it's laying on your makeup table on a paper towel.
What about using liquid latex on the inside of the beard? Would that be possible?
You can use liquid latex, yes. If you don't have this, you can take liquid latex like I used to tighten the beard and to curl it. It kind of holds it. Then you put that a little heavier on the inside and it'll work just like the Krylon. Now this will hold it pretty well. It won't fall apart. So you can stick that right up again on the man or another actor or somebody, even your mother.
Probably a man.
Look at that.
Boy, that's great. Well, that's a wonderful
But
beard.
I mean, that's a demonstration of how that works.
Well, thank you. I think that everyone watching this program is going to feel a lot more comfortable about getting into a beard. As you just have seen, this is also a very effective way to change an actor's appearance. With the right techniques, the possibilities are endless. Take plenty of time for preparation and practice. Each time you lay hair, you'll probably have better results. Thank you for joining us, and look for our next series of Ben Nye's Makeup for the Theater.
Okay, very good. I'm sure you thought that was interesting.
I say much.
What's that, Christine?
Sorry for interrupting, but it's much more informative.
Very informative. Yeah, it's a fabulous way. Now that you had a slight introduction about how to blend, now you're repeating that in your mind. You're seeing him pull the hair, and then you watch him apply the hair. So, Cara, you were right. I published that now so that it is available on your Canvas site, and I will show you that so that the video is also on there. And let me just show that to you. Where are we? So that you look for it here. Oh shoot, no, not here. Where did that go? Okay, let me stop the share for a second. I have to find my web page. I didn't destroy it and turn it into something else. Okay, well, I will find it right now. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, so about the coloring of the beard and stuff.
Right.
Do they have like, because you have to blend it and make your own color, but do they also sell like, oh, this would match this person, or can you custom order like a color you wanted, or is there a standard?
Okay, so remember in the very beginning when he said this is a $300 beard?
Yeah, because it's real hair.
Yeah, you can buy beards that might match your hair.
Uh-huh.
The only way to work with a crepe hair one is to blend your own. You can buy, we have probably 200 different beards and mustaches here at Santa Barbara City College that I pull out for different reasons. And we have, if we need mutton chops, if we need a certain kind of mustache, we need a certain kind of beard. Because if you're, for our purposes of doing a play and you're going to do 14 performances minimum, 5 rehearsals, and you will want to have one on a piece of ventilated lace. And I can show you what that looks like as well. And that is a hand-tied human hair beard. May not be human, it might be yak, it might be some other kind of hair that is hand-tied, and I can show you what that looks like. And I'll do that the rest of the period so that you can see that. But that's on what's called a netting or a hair lace, so that instead of pulling it off and spraying it with Krylon or putting latex on the inside, it has a backing of lace, and then that will be able to be re-glued, the gum resolved. Then we dissolve the gum that's on the hair lace, we wash the mustache, and then it's ready to be put back on for the second application. So that's why they're so expensive, because they're hand tied, basically 2 hairs at a time to create a mustache. But it would be worth it for you to look at it right now, because you'll see how little hair you actually need to create a beard. And when I first started teaching this class and they saw that big bushy beard, they said, oh no, that's so non-realistic. And now that beards are very popular, it seems like, oh yeah, that's totally fine, right? So that's just a style thing. And that's something that you just need to remember, is that fashion trends come and go, and they do the same with hair. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Ida.
If you want it much shorter, do you just do it the same way, but you just cut it so it's not like a lot?
Yeah, so it's tougher to deal with a little less hair than this. You need about 2 inches. So you can put it here and then here. And when you cut it, then the next piece you can put up just like he did. But to start with less than this, it's harder to handle. Because again, remember, you're going to be sticky. Yeah. You're putting your hair up, you're going to roll your scissor up and then down below. So you're going to need some piece of this. Let me get that straight. So remember, you want a nice even place to put it onto your chin, put it on, roll it with your scissor or your pencil, and then it will live there. And then you can clip it here. So I would move my hand down, I'd clip, and then I could move that down below. But to actually use
a longer piece and then just cut it when.
Yeah, because to start with, to do a bunch of pieces that are only this long,
yeah,
it maybe is not giving you enough to shape with. And then you can trim it, even if you want to trim it very, very short. Okay. I will also show you something called a chop hair beard, which is more like a 3-day growth.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And that's not the kind of application we're talking about right now. Yeah. But I will show you that as well. Any other questions? I have found my my canvas was just down because it was behind the video. So I want to show you that on the modules.
Oh, one more question.
Yes, sure.
So I heard in the video he mentioned that if you're losing a lot of stray hairs, you're doing it incorrectly.
Okay.
But I have a bunch of stray hair, like it's just part of the deal though. Like an expert wouldn't lose.
When you're pulling your hair, you're going to have extra hair, and you saw that he combed the hair out like that, right?
So yeah, so when I'm pulling it apart, I'm getting all these extra hairs, and it's just.
So there's hairs that you're going to lose, absolutely, okay. Right? So I have hair here, but this hair is ready to go. And then you want to trim the top. So I think also he meant that if you're losing stray hair, after you've glued your chin and when you put it on, you need to really press it in.
So you want to let that, you want to release your fingers so that it will stick on your chin, on your beard gum by pressing it in, not pulling that away. And then you're going to lose some hairs as you comb through that. So you have to remember, he's been doing it for 50 years and he's a master. You're going to start. It will be amazing. Just know that it will be amazing, and just go for it. The beards will look amazing. All the beards that you've seen from the students here are the first time they've done them. And then now that you have this technique, you can use it again and again and again. So we're going to do the crepe hair beard character on Wednesday. You'll have the full period for it. Get a picture, get your schematic together so you know exactly what you're doing. Your hair is all prepared so that we're not trying to dry our hair at the same time, okay? And then I'm going to show you the assignment. Any other questions about that before we go?
I have something to say.
Is that Christine?
Yes.
Okay, just a minute. Let me see you.
Hi.
Okay. So when I'm in this mode, I can't see it. And what's your question?
It's not actually a question, but he is like the Bob Ross of the makeup world.
He's the what?
Bob Ross of the makeup world.
I don't know who that is.
Bob Ross, he's an artist.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Webb Miller is a great makeup artist, but there's a lot of them. I mean, there are some really amazing makeup artists. So it's good that you find somebody that you can attach him to. That's very exciting. And you can see when he moves his hands, it's just so fluid and so easy. So I'm going to show you your assignment now, and then I'm going to show you how to ventilate hair. Oh dear, this is so, here we go. Are you seeing my screen move around? So can you see that we're on our Canvas site? Okay, down.
Yeah, I can see. If that's
Okay,
what you're
thanks.
asking. Yeah.
So crepe hair beard, this is under advanced techniques. Just click on it. And this is the Webb Miller application. You'll be able to look at this again right here by clicking on the little icon. This is a very natural growth, shorter beard, a longer beard. You know, people have all kinds of hair. And then this is the application, just a quick application technique. Mustaches, this is a waxed mustache. So that's something, and you can see very nicely the hair growth from the center out. That's why when you lay the mustache, you lay it, oh darn it, I didn't want to do that. You lay it from the outside in. So if you're making a Fu Manchu, Christina, you're going to start here. It could grow down here, or it could just be longer hair that hangs down. And then you build one side to the other side, and you alternate back and forth so that the hair stays the same value as you build up. And note on this guy, look at this, look at the brighter red color here, the highlight color, the darker color, and darker underneath. So you want to make sure when you're doing a beard that we're going for realism. Follow the number system for the mustache and you'll, okay, sorry, I just want to make sure I didn't put it up there. And then finishing, comb the beard and mustache, trim the beard to the desired length, fill in with makeup pencil if skimpy. Here's the instruction sheet. This is a bit different than the Ben Nye one. So this is the one I showed you before. Here's where you see the mustache, 1, 2, 3, 4, alternating back and forth. The keystone, 1, 2, 3, back, just like what Webb did, and then up, 4, and then we go up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So up to the sideburn. So these are growing down the chin, and then this grows out from the chin. And this is just your outline application. Okay.
So you want to remove it very carefully because it dissolves. Wait, where's the removal? Oh, here we go. I thought, wait, where is it? I know I put it in. So don't pull it off like tape. Use your spirit gum remover. 99% alcohol is excellent remover as well. If it's stuck, use more remover and patience. You saw how much alcohol he used and how he waited for it to work. And then the rubric is right here. So your references are very, very important. Your character analysis for your character, your notes and recording, just like in the Ben Nye video, they wrote down all the notes, and then draw your sketch because that will help you determine what your beard's going to look like. So draw it on your makeup worksheet. And then the execution is after you take your selfie and you look at your selfie, be realistic about how it worked. Okay. And then you can put it in. You can take a photo of it and put it all into Google and then upload it. Okay, questions on that?
I have a question.
Yes.
About the removal. What was that thing that he was spraying onto it so that it like stay together?
Okay,
If you want to keep it.
yes. That's a fixative spray. It's an art spray. Do not use it on your face.
Okay.
You can take your beard off. You can lay it on a paper towel like this. And then you can spray it this way.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
or when it's flat, spray it this way. You do not want to spray that close to your face. It's super highly flammable, number one. Number two, I'm sure you'd be breathing it in. I've done really crazy things that nobody should ever do. Okay? So there are things that he said, for example, acetone, they don't use acetone, they use the alcohol, but you're never going to use that and spray it on somebody's face close to your face. So you can do that. The thing about the latex and putting distilled water to it, that is also creating a product called Wrinkle Stipple, which you can use to wrinkle your face up because you're making it very, very thin, and you can paint it on your skin and it will shrink and create wrinkles. That is one of the techniques for creating wrinkles. But again, latex never goes in the area where there's hair, like here, or if you're a mustache, or if you're here having hair here. You never want to put it there because latex grabs onto it and it does not dissolve. The beauty of spirit gum is it dissolves. Okay. So you want to look at a couple of other hair pieces, the ones that are the $300 ones.
Pamela?
Let me pause for a moment.